Hey guys, RichGongaReplays back to bring you some more Starcraft 2 2v2 action. On the Boneyard, we do have UnicornJedi spawning as the red Terran in the top right hand corner. Spawning also in the top right hand corner as his partner will be Sharoon as blue Protoss. And the bottom left hand corner as the purple Protoss will be Calcifer. And above him as his partner will be JoeBanana. UnicornJedi, going to dub him Avocado, I'm assuming. He will be the teal Protoss. This is the Boneyard, quite a large map for 2v2. We do have a scouting probe for Sharoon making his way across the map. Going to be checking out his opponent's base rather early, but if he does have just a couple of rallies, maybe some kind of patrol set, he will just start poking his head around. And we do have JoeBanana going to be chasing him around, make sure nothing fishy is going on. Calcifer going to be scouting incorrectly first, but the correct way second. So he will see exactly what's going on. We do have a gateway going down for both Calcifer and JoeBanana. Unicorn has yet to throw down a barracks, and we do have a forge going down for Sharoon. Very interesting to see him opening up with this forge first. I'm not exactly sure what his plan is, if he is going to be doing a little bit of cheesy McCheese action, or if he is just going to defend the front of the ramp for an early expansion. Calcifer is going to spot this forge, so they're going to know what's up. And we do have pylon going down, but it was canceled. He's not going to throw it down. We do have the pylon going down. So now Sharoon controlling that probe with his life. However, we do have a third gateway up, so we do have a zealot on the way. We can imagine a zealot coming from Calcifer relatively soon. We do have a zealot on the way. They will be going after this pylon, which has finished, so I can see that being taken out relatively shortly. Sharoon has backed out and threw down a gateway. In the meantime, we do have a command center and a barracks going down for Unicorn, so he's going to be expanding early. JoeBanana poking his head up here, make sure nothing too fishy's going on, and will be taking command of the watchtower as Calcifer has command of the bottom watchtower. So they are going to have vision across the map. This zealot slashing away at this pylon. He has a buddy that just joined the battle, so that pylon's going to fall very shortly. Double gas now going up for Unicorn, and a gateway just now finishing for Sharoon, so he is going to throw down the cybernetics, and he's going to want to get one of his gases very shortly, as he is going to need that 50 gas for the warp gate research. He has a little bit of excess of minerals, and his chrono is completely saved up. We probably want to do something with that shortly. However, we do have a command center that is both of them being transformed into orbitals simultaneously, so they will be ending that shortly, and we will more than likely see a couple of mule drops, get that economy up and running. We do have another probe for Sharoon, going to start poking his head up here, but these three zealots are going to say hi to him, and he is not going to like that too much. There's actually four, so this probe is now running for his life, and these zealots are not even going to be close to catching him. Now we do have a bunker going down for Unicorn for some defense up the front, as well as a factory going down. So Calcifer and JoeBanana. Joe throwing down his second gateway, and Calcifer throwing a pylon on the low ground down here. Warp gate research is on the way for both. And we do not have warp gate yet, as Sharoon has just thrown down his assimilator. A little bit late on that. I would have liked to see that just a little bit earlier out of Sharoon. However, we do have two mules for Unicorn mining their lives away, and oddly enough, Unicorn has not decided to take the expansion back here just yet. He is double pumping SCVs out of these two command centers. And we do have a supply depot now going down for Unicorn, maybe going to try and wall off, but we have two stalkers and four zealots going to start making their way across the field, as we do have a zealot commanding this watchtower. However, there is still a probe up here. I don't really feel as though they need much more than a probe. They're going to poke their heads down here, make sure there's no kind of expansion, and maybe start poking their way up the ramp, which oddly enough I don't see much there to stop them from doing such. We do have, how many is this in total? We do have 6 gateways in total and a +1 coming from Sharoon, who now has Warp Gate on the way. That is almost completed. However, Warp Gate is almost completed for JoeBanana and Calcifer himself rather. So now they're just poking around the map, trying to see if there's any kind of hidden expansions going on or whatnot. Unicorn is starting to build some supply depots on the low ground down here. We do have 3 Marines in this bunker. However, I don't think they're going to be able to take that out. You would have to have some kind of super repairs going on. And we do have a Thor on the way, oddly enough, with an armory down. We do have a double factory. So now Unicorn probably indicating to Sharoon that he only has 1 probe on gas and maybe needs to fix that. This little scouting party is going to make their way back home, I'm assuming, as Warp Gate research has just finished. And we do have an Immortal on the field now with an observer. This observer may start making his way over. However, I don't think they know what's going on in here. They did see Unicorn throw down that expansion, but they have not been in since. And if we take a look at Unicorn and Sharoon's view, they are unaware that Warp Gate has finished yet, but I can imagine that they know it is done and has been far too long. And Sharoon's Warp Gate is also finished. Sharoon's sitting on a ton of minerals. I would love to see him do something with all these minerals. Maybe start pumping out a couple of zealots to complement the fact that he does not have that much gas. We do have 2 Thors on the field now for Unicorn, and a group of Marines going to come over here and deal with this probe very quickly. Take him out of there. We do have 2 Immortals on the field though, so these Thors may have their work cut out for them, because these Immortals just tank that damage. And he is going to salvage that bunker and take those 75 minerals back, and throwing down a 3rd command center. Oddly enough, Unicorn has not lifted off his command center and taken this expansion just yet. I can't imagine what he's waiting for, but we shall see. We do have a Ghost on the field as well. I did not see the Ghost Academy go down. It must be hidden somewhere in the back. Here it is. No nuke on the way yet, so maybe he is just going to use that Ghost for the EMP, which would in fact render all of these Immortals useless once their shields are gone. But this is quite a sizable force moving their way across the field. We do have hallucination being researched, oddly enough not bringing this observer, but they do have 1 observer in the field, so I can see it. That Marine absolutely hating his life, because he stood no chance. He shot this Stalker, who took a whopping total of 6 damage. But now this siege tank throwing down a lot of damage, but these stores are going to fall very soon. This Ghost did get rid of his EMP. However, these stores fall very quickly. We do have a siege tank up there now. This missile turret is going to take out that observer. All these zealots being blocked by the force field. This tank is going to fall, and there's just a ton of Immortals throwing down all kinds of damage. UnicornJedi floating his command center away. I don't know if they're going to be able to hold this off. This is a ton of units, and we have another group of zealots being warped in by Sharoon. But with all these units in the background supporting all these zealots, I just do not see it being able to be held off. Sharoon now pulling all of his probes. I don't know where he's going to try and go with those, but he is not going to get very far. They're getting cut down mercilessly. At the same time, we do have another siege tank on the field. Unicorn trying to bunker up as best he can. Sharoon losing his entire base to this force. This is just a ton of units hacking away. He probably wants to cancel this +2. He does not cancel it, so he does in fact lose all the minerals to that. All the resources he did have. The zealots do have charge. However, Sharoon did throw down an expansion down here. Unicorn is getting his planetary fortress up, so he is going to be bunkering up to the best of his abilities. This is so many Immortals. If we take a look at the count, we have 5 Immortals in total between Calcifer and JoeBanana. Unicorn doing the best he can to bunker up. We do have 3 tanks which throw down so much damage. 2 Marauders inside of this bunker. We do have another bunker going down. And we do have a +1 ship weapons upgrade. He does have a starport on the way, so that will be finished very shortly, as he does realize that they went robotics and are going to have a tough time. Unicorn does in fact cancel that. But this planetary fortress is going to be repaired by all these SCVs, and it is just laying down a ton of damage on all these units. Planetary fortresses do have that splash damage, so they are going to be taking all kinds of damage. These Immortals doing the best they can, but these SCVs on the super repair throwing a ton of damage. They're going to start making their way up here. However, these tanks laying down all the damage they can. These Marauders inside of that bunker go inside of this bunker, and then they get taken out. These two siege tanks throwing all the damage they can, but this is way too many Immortals. Unicorn is going to lift off his command centers and start flying them in all kinds of directions in an attempt to try and stop this push from coming. JoeBanana and Calcifer looking like they're in good shape right now. Calcifer's just taking a second base for himself with 3 Stargates on the way. JoeBanana already has his expansion up and running. Oddly enough, does not have anything on gas, so he probably wants to start getting on that as he's sitting on way too many minerals. At the same time, Sharoon is rebuilding his base to the best of his abilities, but there is just a ton of units right now completely raping that refinery. This engineering bay is going to fall very shortly. They are taking out all these supply depots from UnicornJedi, who has landed one of his command centers over here. However, Calcifer is going to realize that it is there, and they are probably going to send out a force shortly to deal with that. These command centers flying their way across the map. Another engineering bay going down. They're going to pull out because they do understand that this planetary fortress has so many SCVs to repair. It is probably pointless to try and stop that. Can they see these command centers? They do not even know they're there. Very odd that they weren't able to poke their head around there and see it. However, Unicorn's going to want to cancel both of these refineries very shortly. I do not think he realized that Observer's there. He does not realize that Observer's there. And all of these units are going to start pouring in, and they are just going to stand absolutely no chance. And Unicorn does know that he is in a lot of trouble right now, flying his starport away. And he should probably cancel the rest of the SCVs before he loses his command center, and it does not get canceled. So 150 minerals lost in that. However, he does have an abundance, so all these units he's losing are not going to be doing too bad. Unicorn and Sharoon in a bad way right now. I don't know how they're going to be able to pull their way out of it. We do have Void Rays on the field now. They have spotted those two command centers, so they are going to take those out. We do have a couple Stargates coming out from Sharoon, who is sitting on bukus of resources. He is almost at that Bill Gates money. And just so many starports, 5 in total, coming down from Sharoon. And they are going to try and take out this orbital command. I don't see them being able to salvage it. It is going to fall very shortly. These Void Rays probably want to start making their way across the field, as there is no missile turret to defend right now. I do not believe Unicorn even has anything to shoot air at the moment. I'm very curious to see. This command center is going to fall if he does not get some SCVs repairing it. This starport still floating his way around the back here. I don't think he is in view of the observer. He is not, so he'll be just fine. Holy cannon, Batman. So many cannons going down. This force is quite sizable, and there are a ton of Immortals. I just don't see the cannons dealing the damage that they're going to have to. However, JoeBanana does not realize any of this is there. Calcifer does not realize it either. Are they going to poke their head down the bottom? They do poke their head down the bottom. And these cannons are going to be taken out very shortly. All these Stargates pumping out Void Rays. This pylon falls, and all these cannons are rendered utterly useless. However, there is a ton of Void Rays. If they are able to finish this one left, Sharoon has left the game. UnicornJedi, I don't know if he's going to be able to pull this out. He has left the game. Calcifer and JoeBanana able to put on early pressure. I can't help but feel as though if Sharoon had made a couple of warp-ins before they arrived there, they may have been just fine. They would have had the extra zealots or stalkers that they needed. Anyway, a ton of Void Rays doing absolutely nothing. They were not even needed. I hope you guys enjoyed this game, and I'll talk to you guys later.